All right, students, I know, so this is the FSQ review. So let me go ahead and go over the agenda for that Wednesday. So this is the day that I'm not here. So what you need to do is you're going to do the review on Delta Math, watching this video and writing down notes so you can answer all the questions on Delta Math, and I'll show you how to do that. Remember, on Thursday, on the 14th, you should be prepared to take the FSQ. There are 11 questions. Work will be required for that one. And then when I come on Thursday, I will remind you with more dates. But one thing you should keep in mind is January 29th will be the last day of the second 9 weeks. All right, so let me go to, so once you are on Delta Math, log in normally. You should see these two assignments right here. Now, this assignment right there is done first because it's due before the FSQ review. But all you need to do is just click on the first questions of the review, and then I will update this review right here, and it will include a video right there on the top. So you'll click on the video, but of course I can't upload the video before it's recorded. Okay, so one thing you'll see that's different from my screen is that you will see a video there that'll say watch this first. Let's go over the first questions. Okay, many of these we have done already. It says a triangular that has two sides of a length of 4 and 6. What's one possible length of the third side of a triangle? So, if you remember, in the inequality, I said you always have 4. So here's the ones that are given. You have x. It's the missing side. Okay, so we add them. Or let's not do a sum. Let's do a difference first. Has to be less than the missing side, less than the sum. So difference means we subtract, so that's 2. Less than x, less than the sum, we add 10. Remember I said anything between 2 and 10, but not 2 and not 10. So one possible length cannot be 2, and it cannot be 10. Here's what it can be: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. 10 is not included. 2 is not included. So you can type in any answer for this one, and it will be counted correct. So I'm just going to go ahead and type 4. And just submit that. Okay, and every question here will have, you'll have 2 chances to do each question. So the correct answer is 3, 4, 5, 6. Any of those will be a correct answer. Right. The next one says a triangular that has 2 sides. So let's erase that. Triangular has 2 sides, 7 and 12. So those are the 2 sides that I have. So that's 7 and 12. Remember, the missing is always x. What's a compound inequality? Describes the possible length of a third side x. Write the compound inequality like this. Well, I wrote the compound inequality for you. So you're going to subtract them. 7, 12 minus 7, that's 5. Less than x, less than the addition, 7 plus 12, 19. Okay, and you're just going to type them here. Okay, you see how it gives you an option for some of the common. So you write down 5 and less than x less than 19. Okay. All right. Next question, the hinge theorem. Remember, the hinge theorem is, remember, the bigger the side, the bigger the angle. The smaller the side, the smaller the angle that faces it. So which of the following statement is true based on the following diagram? We have a triangular. We are trying to find which one of these is true. Well, you remember the hinge theorem, if you have 2 sides that are congruent, we have 2 of them right here. We have K, Kn, so let's highlight that. We have Kn and we have NM are congruent. We also have the LM is a side that's shared between the two triangles, so that's the second side. The angle between the sides isn't congruent because we have 82 here. We can find that second angle easily by, remember when the two angles are on the same line, we subtract 180 minus 82, we get 98 degrees. So this angle right here is 98 degrees. You see how they're not congruent? Here's what that means. This is the side that faces the smaller angle. So LM has to be smaller than the side that faces the big angle. So I can say that LM is less than LK, or we can say that LK is greater than LM, whichever fits in here. And now it gives you, is LK equal to LM? No, we know they're not equal because the angles aren't equal, so this can be eliminated right away. The measure of KNL is less than the measure of LNM, so is 98 less than 82? No, 98 is greater. Okay, is LK greater than LM? Is LK greater than LM? Yes, because LK is the one that faces the bigger angle. So it would be this. And then LK is less than LM? Of course not. Remember I told you it's either less than or greater than. It can't be both, okay? This question is a multi-select question on your test. So as you're answering, you might answer multiple choices. I really don't remember. I think it was one. I don't, anyway. All right. Next section. What would be a reason for 6? This proof right here is part of your standard. And just quickly, let's review a few things. The proof of a triangular angle sum below, given it's a triangle, and then prove that measure of A, B, and C are equal to 180. The measure of A, the measure of B, and the measure of C is 180. Is the angle the sum of an angles inside a triangle? We all know they're always 180, but asking you to prove it. Now, which of the following could be a correct reason for 6? So we're not really going through the entire proof. We're just trying to pick 1 for 6. If I move down a little bit, I'm trying to find 6. So this is the answer that we should be selecting, which I really can't. I don't want to, yeah, because of, okay. So remember, in a proof, your first statement is always the given, the last statement is the proof statement. And remember, the first reason is always the given reason, but the last reason can never be the word proof. The last reason is never the word proof, can never be the word proof. Okay, so let's try to fill in. It says draw PB through PB is parallel to AC. So that means this side right here will be parallel to that side. Okay, and remember, when parallel lines, they have a lot of angles that are congruent. P, B, C, and 3 form a linear pair. P, B, C, which is this whole, where's my, oh, I just moved away. All right. I want it, okay. Which means 1 and 2 together and 3 form a linear pair. That's true because they're on that same line. That's the parallel. So that means if we add PBC and angle 3, we should get 180. They're a linear pair, supplementary. So this would be with angle 3. I'm going to scoot up a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, I hate about this. Because we might, all right, I think I can manage that way. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit. I'm going to zoom out on the screen. Oh. So this angle right here, and angle 3. Both of these are linear because they're on that same line PR that's on the top. If I wanted to highlight the PR one, it would be this side right here. And I'm going to highlight the bottom two because they're parallel with the little arrows. Okay, so if they're supplementary, we know they're equal to 180, so that means plus 3, 180. So that we know if we look at the picture, PBC is equal to 1 and 2 together. That's true because it is divided into angle 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. And here, I don't know if you remember, but this would be like an angle addition postulate. An angle addition postulate. All right. And then 1, 2, and 3 are 180. 1, 2, and 3 are all 180 because they're both on the same line of PR. Remember when we said a straight angle always be on that. So it's a substitution property of equality. All right, so 1 and A are congruent, 3 and C are congruent. So let's find out why 1 and A are congruent. I'm going to change that to blue. Actually, blue from here. Okay, so 1, which is this angle, and that angle are both congruent, and 3 and C are congruent. So if I try to use a highlighter, maybe that one on this side. You remember when they're parallel, you always have the when they're parallel, remember the Z we talked about? So 1 and A are Z. We also see 3 and C are also Z. They all form Z. So when they form Z, if you remember, the pair is alternate interior angle theorem. So this by alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angle. Okay? Now, because they're congruent, they are equal in measure. That's what the definition of congruence. Remember, we said that congruent means they're equal. All right. Now, 1 and A are congruent. Can I replace 1 with A? 1 and A are congruent. So can I take away 1 and replace it with A? That's right. Can I take away 3 and replace it with C? Yes. Now, B remains the same because 2 and B are the same. Look at that. A, B, C is really the same as B. So I'm going to write it A, B, C. But it's really nothing more than just B. Okay? And what I just did is a substitution property of equality. We just replaced a few things. Okay? And that's it. So the question, let me go up because I wanted to see. Oh, okay. So the question is asking to find, the reason for 6. No, this would be the reason for 8. I'll fix that. Okay, I want to do the reason for 8. Remember what was the reason for 8 is? The reason for 8 was the alternate interior angle theorem. So we'll just pick alternate interior angle theorem, which is that one. Because the type, it's not 6, it's 8. Okay? You don't have to do the entire proof. If you're able to get through, then you should be able to get an answer correct on a test. But that proof is on your test. The second proof on your test is this one. It says, which of the following would be correct for B? No. Let's just read here. Choose a reason for 4. So we're choosing a reason for 4 here. Okay? Now, I'll just make a quick analogy on this, and I hope it helps you. So if you're looking, we are given that ZW is parallel, WD is parallel, and then we are asking to prove triangle WZD is congruent to triangle SZD. Remember, there are 4 congruence theorems. okay? Side, 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 angle, side, angle, side, angle, and what was the last one? Angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. Okay, remember the ones that don't exist is the AAA ones, doesn't exist for congruency for this, and the one that doesn't exist is the SSA. If you look at the answer choices, even before we attempt, if we look at the answer choices, there are two options we should eliminate. The first option and the last option. Because AAA does not exist and SSA doesn't exist. So you are really between two choices. So how you can eliminate your options just by looking at it without even attempting to solve everything on it. Okay, so the WZD is congruent to WZD. So let's just put the parallel signs. So here's parallel signs, and these two are parallel according to the given information. WZD is this angle right here, and SDZ is this angle right here. So I can probably picture my Z already. Okay, I can probably see the Z. Here it is. Okay. So that's alternate interior. And here we have WDZ, so it's this side, it's this angle right here. And that angle right here, here's a second Z, another alternate interior. And then ZD congruent to itself, which is this one right here, that's a reflexive property of congruence. So here's that's not a side. It's an angle, it's a side, and an angle. Remember, the side is between the two angles, so we can't pick down the SAS. We have to pick ASA. So that would be the reason why they're congruent. Okay? A lot of these questions are based on analysis, and some of them are just testing strategies. If you are able to make a good conclusion. You see how I never answered 1, 2, or 3. I only put them on the graph. I got to the right answer. I eliminated, so I have 50% chances of getting this correct. Next questions. All right. Okay, determine the width of the pond. So the width of the pond, the X is right here. This is similar triangle. You're only writing your answer without unit. Just make sure you are setting the proportion correctly. This is a proportional question. Okay, similar triangle always have proportional sides. Proportional sides have the same ratio. So here's what that means. All right, so this means X over 120, and then the 135 over 90. And that's it. So X over 120 equal to 135 over 90. Remember, the X and the 135, the top and the top, has to be from the same triangle. 120 and 90 has to be from the same triangle. Okay? Or just to keep it that way, X has to be from the same triangle with the 135, 120 and 90 has to be from the same triangle. Since the X is on the top, multiply these two. So I do X equal 135 over 90 times 120. Divide this, then multiply the 120. The answer should be 180. 180. Okay. Next question. Okay, let's try this one. It says, which postulate established that the triangles are similar? Remember, we have SS similarity, we have all of this. So here we have a 90-degree sine, T and Q. So we have one angle that are congruent. These two angles right here are congruent by the vertical angle theorem. If you remember, when they make an X, they're vertical. So that's an angle, that's another angle. So that is AAA similarity. SAS, you have to two sides at an angle, and the SSS has to be three sides. That's it. Pretty easy, straightforward. Let's move. Oh, I have to click submit. I keep forgetting that. Next section. All right, in the diagram here, it says E is a midpoint, so E is a midpoint of BC. F is a midpoint of CD. If EF is 8x minus 30, if EF is 8x minus 30, and BD is 96 minus 10x, find BD. So we need to find BD, so we need to find this. This is the mid segment. Remember, the small segment is equal to 1/2 of the segment, or the bigger segment, you can say, if you remember, the side equal to 2 times the mid segment. Let's solve that. So the side here is 96 minus 10x equal to 2 times the mid segment, which is 8x minus 30. Okay, let's distribute. So we get 2 times 8 is 16x. And 2 times 30, that's 60. We add the 10x. So 16 plus 10, that is 26x. Then we add the 60 to the 96. So we get 6, and then 9, that's 156. And then we divide the 26. So let's find what that is. 156 over 26. So six. So x is 6. Remember, the answer isn't 6. Why? Because we have to find BD. So BD equal 96 minus 10 times 6. So that's 96 minus 60, which is 36. That is your answer. Okay? All right. Now, these questions are shuffled, so you don't get the same exact question as mine. So please be careful that you have to solve your own problem. Okay? You have to solve your own problem. This is not the same one that you're gonna, and if you still need help how to do this, you watch the help video that's on the top. All right. Now, this question is the same as the mid-segment, but the question is asking which one that solves for x. Remember, mid-segment, the side is 2 times the segment. So which one of these would it fit? So if you read each one, are they equal? No. 2 times 3x. 2 times the big segment equal the small? No. The big segment is equal to twice the small segment or twice the mid segment? Yes. 2 and 2, not. So the first and the last choice should be eliminated right away. Okay? Because they're not equal, and twice of one isn't twice of the other. It's only one of them is twice the other. So it should be the third option. The third option. You're forgetting. Next one. Angle bisector one. So let's take a look at this. It says solve for x. Because this is a midpoint and that's a right here, we would have, this is an isosceles triangle, so we would have these two are equal to each other. Just set them equal to each other. Plus 18 equal to 3x plus 39. Subtract the 3, so we get 3x. Subtract the 18 from 39. X equal to 7. Okay, moving on. We're only finding x, really nothing extra on this at all. But this might have quite of an algebra in it, and this could be also a reason why some of you could, because you need some practice with algebra. And next one is, all right, it says, given the triangle is isosceles, remember isosceles triangle, this is median, these two are equal. BD bisects. Bisect the angle means it splits the angle into two congruent angles. So these two are actually congruent. Josh is trying to prove that ABD, which is the angle I highlighted here, is congruent to CBD. Why is that? Read. If you don't know what's going on, but you see the word bisect, I would look at all four choices and I would see that, oh, it's the definition of angle bisector because I can't see the word bisect on the top. But that's really what it is. When you have a side that bisects an angle, which means BD bisects angle B, it divided into two congruent angles. So yes, ABD is congruent to CDB. So it is the last option, definition of angle bisector. And this question right here is asking to determine the measure of S, which is this angle right here, measure of S, this angle. Remember that the sum of all of them is 180 degrees. So you would have to add 7x plus 40 plus 8x plus 25 plus 5x plus 15 equal to 180 degrees. Combine terms. So 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 5 is 20, x. 40 plus another 40 will give us 80. Combine like terms. Please combine terms. Combine terms. Subtract the 80, so 20x is 100. Divide the 20, x equal to 5. Please remember your answer isn't x, we're finding s. Plug it into s. So it will be 7 times 5 plus 40. 35 plus 40 is 75 degrees. 75 degrees. Two-step question. You have to first solve for x, then plug it into the one they're asking for. Okay? And circumcenter question. Remember we talked about it not even a little bit ago. Use this diagram. It says if ZD is 4x, so ZD is actually the dashed line right here, and then XZ is the other dashed line. In a circumcenter, the center right here for each of the vertex is the same. So if I try to highlight the distances that are equal, so it would be ZD, ZX, and YD. And I know the distance from YD is not drawn on the picture, but it's okay. We can draw that one ourselves. Right there. They're equal. This is congruent to this. So ZD is 4x plus 30, and XD is 8x minus 6. They are equal, so we have to set them equal to each other. Okay, subtract the 4, so we get 4x. We add the 6, we get 36. Divide the 4, we get 9. This is not your answer. The question is asking to find the distance from Y to D. You have to plug it in. Where do I plug it in, miss? I don't know what YD is. Well, they're all the same, so you can plug it in any expression, you should get the same answer. Okay, so I'll just do it in the first one. 4 times 9 plus 30. That would be 36 plus 30, which is 66. Okay, answer is not 9. It's not x. You have to first find to plug it in. Okay. I think that was all. Oh, okay, so that was the last question I had. Okay, I know I went through it quickly because I didn't want to make the video long, and I was also recording it during my lunch time, so I apologize if it was going over anything quick. But the good thing about a video is you can replay it as many times as you want to get to the answers that you're looking for. Okay. What else I wanted to do is please show work for every single question you're doing. Okay. Now, if you go up there, like in some of these, you see which says notes aren't required for this problem. So all the problems that have algebra will say notes are required for these problems. So you might have to submit some work on here. I think it's a user-friendly, but it would help me and help you to actually, instead of you watching the videos and only clicking on the answers, you can actually do the problems with hand. If you don't do it, you will not do well on the FSQ. Okay? If there's any questions, please let me know. I'll take all your questions when I come back. Have a great day, and I hope you do well on that test.